melanin, kundalini, and chakras, the human body chakra system. We heal ourselves. We are not goddess on the planet, exhibiting and demonstrating goddess behavior. We heal ourselves, abiding the principles of the chakras. All is one, honor one another, respect yourself. Sometimes you gotta just say no. That's the embodiment of the lower chakras. Then we move through the heart of unconditional love, because love is divine power. Love is divine power. Oh yeah, love is divine power. And then at the throat chakra, that's the Visuddha chakra, its principle is to surrender personal will to divine will and speak truth and honesty in expression in everything we speak. Visuddha chakra, and on up into the higher spheres of awareness at the third eye. Seek only the truth. Seek only the truth at the Anja third eye chakra. And where the magic happens is in the crown chakra, because we are living in the present moment of consciousness awareness, letting go of yesterday, not focusing on tomorrow, but in the gift moment, present moment of consciousness awareness. And yes, we love you, Mama Nrbthet. This information is written in the stone on the walls of the temple of Luxor. Written in the stone. That's just how bad our ancestors were. And we are returning to planet Earth to carry on all the amazing things they taught us about healing ourselves. We are the temple of light and the archetypes of consciousness of the Committant Pantheon liveth in us. We are God Goddess on the planet. God Goddess on the planet. We are God Goddess on the planet, healing the sacral chakra and busting up bogus HIV worldwide, globally, internationally, locally, statewide, in our country, on our continent, and all around this planet. Busting up bogus HIV worldwide. 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 I am Dr. Damien Q. Lester, a.k.a. Kabir Amin Ra, Anpu The Divine Mother is raging back in. Thank you for joining us again today. Tomb. Okay, I made it through that. Thank you all for being here again with me today. I am set up right over here. You know, as you know, I've gotten in a habit, being a Cancer, you know, we are creatures of habit, of waking up and beginning my mornings with the Damien Lester Conscious Doctor YouTube channel playlist. And so today I wanted to discuss some things that came to mind as I was watching some of those presentations. I do, of course, have my list. Again, you know, I have to wait for the movement to hit me because I generally get one outing per day. And again, I am living an isolated life. So in a sense, coming here and talking to you helps me feel that I'm reaching out. And so thank you for being here. As far as my list today, I want to discuss, because I happened to land on the presentation where I walked down Peachtree to Aid Atlanta, having had experiences at Aid Atlanta and Evolution Project. That one presentation where I have all the boards about HIV, and you can see there pictures of me in the Evolution Project program, where black men aged 19 to 29 receive so-called philanthropic HIV services. But when I got in there, I learned that basically they are being encouraged to stay on their drugs, which basically is what kills people. So here again, we're talking about disguising murder as philanthropy. But anyway, I taught the chakra positions. I did a hands-on activity, and all of that is in that presentation. I think it's called There Is No HIV. It's one of the PowerPoints set to music. Okay, so that has been on my mind, that I walked down Peachtree in a Pharaoh hat into Aid Atlanta. And I've mentioned that I have not been able to follow up with them, but I did do 2 presentations on it. You might notice that I am commenting, sort of trying to link those presentations together. Looks like the wind's picking up here. I hope you can still hear me. But, you know, I personally do not understand how they can be aware of the science and then not care enough to stop doing what they're doing. You do, I've learned, see employees kind of come and go. Maybe it is them, because of work from people like me, they actually get a conscience about what it is they're doing, assisting in the death of their own people, going into black neighborhoods and that kind of thing. You know, just like when I went into Bessemer, that I've talked about, and got my book in the library there, but tried to awaken those people, because it is a fact that cities where many black people live are under attack, and this is global. So giving people an opportunity to know the other side of the HIV story allows them to decide for themselves if they still want to get involved in taking that test, because it is heavily encouraged. It is still going on, and to someone like me, that is so upsetting that every time it seems that we're gaining, I'll look up, flip a TV channel or something, and then there'll be another ad about urging mostly black people to take an HIV test. And I get so upset by that. But anyway, that presentation is available. I hope you all will review it again. I also did a reprieve to it. You know, I love when my mama Nrbthet, I put on music, and then I'll figure out a way to rig the camera and let it show whatever comes up on the slide, and then see how that's going to correspond with the music in the background. And in every case so far, those have been amazing. And so I want to thank her for that, because it gives, you know, makes it a little more visual. It's not just me walking down the street talking like I'm having to do here. That wind is coming on in. I don't know if I should turn the other way so it won't blow into the microphone. I'm not sure. We'll just see how this turns out, and I'll learn something in the process. Okay, what I want to talk about today is very serious. Again, I told you all, I wrote my books for people like me. People who are homosexual, who are comfortable with that, but there's some remnants from the way we've been raised and miseducated about how we can feel about ourselves, and how not loving yourself or not fully understanding what it means to be homosexual can cause you to be easily routed into that death campaign because of two things: shame and guilt. Now, we already know I'm the conscious doctor, and I teach the metaphysics of self-healing based on underlying causes that cause our body to become out of balance through the chakra system and manifest as physical illnesses that all can be healed when we become aware of our own ill states of consciousness. And so I think that is so important, to release shame and guilt over sex and sexuality. In my SGL, Same Gender Loving presentation, I spoke pretty harshly about a number of things. One being these people who wear their HIV negative badge of honor as if their behavior makes them better than someone else. Now, in the community, especially for me back then, if you reveal to someone you receive that diagnosis, or they tell you they don't have it, it's as if they think they're better than you because their sexual practices are different from you. I've also said that if you're going to be a hoe, be a good one. Because, first of all, let's remember the Dionysian era here, where people enjoyed themselves, their body, they enjoyed life, and that is a big part of spiritual development that we have been moralized away from. But, I noticed myself back when I was in fear of HIV when we first heard about it. I was always in a nervous position if I did have the opportunity or occasion to be with someone. I never really got into it and enjoyed fearing the other person. And then afterwards, if you go away feeling ashamed or guilty, and you do that for weeks, months, or years, that will manifest as physical symptoms of disease. That might be how they've clumped in some of the collective symptoms they say that might be indicative that you are HIV positive. Well, that is a lie. And so what I've been out here doing is getting people to see that you are ill because you need to self-correct. All those emotional states that go either way, left or right or center, over a period of time can cause an imbalance and lead to physical illness. So that is empowering to know that the body is got technology and it is designed to heal itself. It is always in the process of healing itself. And so it is revealing ill states of consciousness when we get a physical illness. And so we're willing to take a look at ourselves and be honest and change ourselves. Then we're safer. The body will reorganize, rebalance, and heal itself. Now, that's amazing knowledge there. Excuse me, Kundalini Kane's falling down here. And that will lead me to this next topic about homophobia and sexuality. I bought a book today. This book, Of Water and the Spirit, Malidoma Somé. This is an excellent book. I talk in my presentations about giving it out as gifts to people. It helped me heal the relationship with my father, to understand the African tribe and the relationship between the grandfather and the grandchild, as opposed to the father and son. It is a grandfather who receives, according to this book, information about the child that is to be born, what to name it, and what even its sexuality might be. And in this book, he teaches that gay people, the twin-spirited people, gay and lesbians, are considered a high spiritual status in African tribes. They are the gatekeepers. They guard the gates between the world of the spiritual and the world of the physical. Okay? And so when teachers like Bobby Hemmett and many other black master teachers, I touched on this just yesterday in speaking about this over macho kind of attitude that I believe is counter to the re-emerging divine feminine energies where we are all being balanced within ourselves, having nothing to do with sex and sexuality. But you got to understand, if you're on the road and you're teaching people, you got to have you got to kind of like be a performer, and you got to know your audience. So you got to say things that's going to appeal to them, because if that's your means of making money and you're not selling a product, an herb, a book, or something, then you've got to entertain people enough to want to pay or come and hear you. So they would often make jokes about homosexuals. And, while we as gay people, and I can speak for myself and lesbians, we kind of stay in the background because we don't want to cause any further division within our black race. And so we kind of let things go. And but if you're in that audience or you're watching one of those presentations, it does hurt to see somebody railing against you when you know that you're probably among the best of the community as far as the actions that you take, your way of being in the world, and your recognition of the Divine Mother returning. And so I'm so happy that I was able to announce a couple of years ago, after studying Bobby Hemmett, that not only he but also Brother Panic had recanted their positions. Now, does it mean that if you always talk about homosexuals in a bad way, or you attack by day and then seduce by night, does that mean that you are homosexual? Well, the science says it is. In every case, there were 5,000 subjects and many other studies that were done. Now, is that designed to put someone down? Well, who's the one doing all the put down? What I do is flip that energy right back around to where it really belongs. And then people start looking at them rather than looking at us. And then generally people stop doing what they're doing. So I don't know if Bobby Hemmett or Brother Panic learned that knowledge and knew about their own behavior like all the other people who are out there teaching a so-called black consciousness, who have been railing against us. And it has been dividing our people. And it has stunted, I would say, spiritual growth. And so I speak out against that. I don't care who doesn't like it, because I love me and we love ourselves. Now, we don't have an explanation for why everybody is gay, but we do know that it has something to do with the soul. Yes, in some cases it may be the result of abuse. Some people say it's because, people don't have a father in the home. Well, is that child's problem? Is it that child's fault? No, it is not. And so stop blaming the wrong people. If you want to really blame somebody, or blame, and you're not with your children that you've created, or with the woman that you had them with, and then in a society that causes issues, why are you blaming the child for being him or herself? That is something that we've got to talk about and be honest about. You want to go around and act all macho. A lot of these nerds like to post pictures of beautiful black women, almost as if exploiting them. Now, we all know the black woman is God, that she is lovely and beautiful, especially she's behaving like a goddess. But, they are the ones that are doing all this lashing out. And if you go through their pictures and look around, you'll see them hugged up with their boys by day. You know what I mean? And if you throw that back up in their face, they tend to run away. So we're using whatever we have to affirm ourselves. Again, my mama Nrbthet and the Divine Mother awakened my Kundalini, and they haven't sent me any kind of message that being myself is wrong. And that's all I need. My mother loves me, and I love myself. You know what I mean? By the way, speaking on isolation, I want to put my little ad out there. I'm looking to meet someone conscious, someone confident and arrogant, someone who understands the kind of work I do, and who's about doing something themselves. We don't have to be doing the same thing, but we can be compatible. So please look me up, because I am alone. I have a beautiful home here, and I spend a lot of time there and everywhere alone. Uh, some of my friends say, you just have to give it time, give it more time, you'll meet the right person for you. But it hasn't happened yet. And so I'm just doing the best that I can, coming here and speaking with you again here today about this. Uh, and then, so again, thank you, Bobby Hemmett, and any other master teachers who are realizing the importance of true spirituality rather than looking to put others of us down or call us a mental illness or a genetic defect or the reason for the failure of the black family, because nothing could be further from the truth. You know, I've even posted, I believe, about, perhaps even unbeknownst to the very effeminate gay black man, perhaps where, they're like that because on some level they are holding a little feminine energy that the over macho men are refusing to balance within themselves. And, who knows? I guess we could speculate all day long. But, while I don't like every gay person, I don't like every straight person either. But I learned to acknowledge and accept people for being individuals and tolerate the differences and see what I can learn from the creativity and the uniqueness that they bring to the planet, rather than, pointing a finger at them and putting them down and making them feel worse and dividing our people more and more. So that's just my position. I hope that you'll meditate on that and think about that. And I assure you the Divine Mother will reveal to you more about that as she has done me. So thank you to Malodoma Somé. You all check out his books. You can see pictures of him and learn his life story. Again, his book helped me heal with my father. My father. I never knew my grandfather. Many of us don't know all of that as a result of slavery. But to read his work and to become empowered is what I'm all about, and glad to know that he's doing that. And he's an internationally known, and there's that B again, symbolizing working for the social order. Okay, let's see what else I have here. Oh, I began singing a cappella. When you sing a cappella, especially if you don't play piano and you don't travel with a tuning pitch, you know, you can be so nervous before a performance. I've been in several, I've sang at many events. I won some competitions singing a cappella, but I'm always nervous leading up to it, more than I normally would be, because I got to make sure I start on the right note. If I start too high or too low, it can throw everything off, the intonations and whatnot. So I was able to listen to my song before I just sang the one over there today. So it came out a little bit better. But singing a cappella is treacherous. I play instruments, but not the piano. And so these songs that I am choosing, some of them will get recalled because they are copyrighted. So I hope I don't look up one day and my whole musical is falling apart. Now, what I don't do is try to sell anything because I don't have copyright protection to use their music. However, I do think it's genius and creative to have come up with lyrics, to have come up with melodies to put to those songs. And when I listen to it, I'm pleased. After all the things I did, self-destructed myself, and then to go back and redevelop my talent. you know and so when you hold a tone and it is out of pitch, or to being a baritone means you can sing baritone, but you can't go too high or too low. You're not a bass, you're not a tenor. And so I would consider myself a baritone too. I can sing, a little bit lower than some of the higher baritone. So whenever I've got a song coming up and I know I'm gonna have to stretch up into that high register, you take a deep breath and you just go for it. But the greatest fear is that you'll crack the note or be under the pitch or over the pitch. So I'm enjoying the acapella singing process. So I come down here to the tunnel and see, what I've got. And so I want to thank Mama Nrbthet for coming in today. I did call her in today. As when I call her in, things tend to go a little better. And then I have one more note here about illusion. It's very difficult when you grow spiritually to really let the idea of living illusion sink in. And the more you learn, the more disgusted, really, that you become. And then it's hard to figure out how to go forward. Bobby Hemmett spoke all the time about bills about becoming an expert at doing nothing. You know, and I understand that, but I cannot sit around and do nothing. I will go crazy if I do that. So the musical gives me an outlet for that. Coming here and speaking to you is also an outlet for that. And I do that because of we don't know when that twinkling of an eye is going to happen. You know, I'm doing altar work. I'm doing all those things I can about my what I believe to be an entity attachment. Last night I researched hidradenitis suppurativa again. I had noticed that I had done a lot of those remedies in there. They don't even know the cost for it. So I tend to lean toward the spiritual aspect of things. But since it is root chakra, that principle is all is one. I would imagine that somewhere at the bottom of the cause of what I'm suffering through will be some violation of that principle. And so, despite being awakened and wanting the illusion to end, while I'm still here, I've got some more meditating to do on my own consciousness, which is in part creating this problem. You know, the body does not lie. We cannot pick and choose what we want to buy into. We have to take responsibility for our health. And so that's what I'm doing. I hope you all wish me well. I'm here another day. We're going to see how the rest of the day goes. And tonight, I thank you to all of those who are sending distant healing, who are wishing me well. I wish you well and love too. I am Dr. Damien Q. Lester, aka Kabir Amin Ra Ampur Saset Harakti, the Conscious Dr. Rainbow Warrior. Metaphysical science, the science of our ancestors, busting up bogus HIV worldwide, healing the sacral chakra. Have a good day. Goodbye.